All right, all right. What's up, folks? Man, it's time to speak some real, man, in this situation as countries are starting to recognize and should always recognize Palestine as a state. And as Israel should only be recognized as a place of refuge for people who are escaping out of Europe because they face persecution or what people term is genocide due to what is the word? Anti-Semitism that only exists in Europe. And now that these people have been placed over in this region, into an Arab region by European powers, so that way the European powers could alleviate the bloodshed in Anglo-Saxonville or in European nations, conflict amongst European nations over the protection of another European, and then we'll go over into an Arab region and slaughter those people to create a new home for people who have just arrived here. And that is just sick when you look at the whole ideal behind the creation of this newly formed nation, which goes back into a place of a lot of the dark history of European expansion. And in this modern age, we have where weapons are used against an unarmed group. And then now you have this escalation, which was nothing but an intentional uptick in the level escalation, and to act like it will be supported based on some party goers and partying in a region they should not have been in and being held hostage. So that way, this wicked-minded dude, Benjamin Netanyahu, can formulate this plan that he's always devised, and probably devised it with other, wealthy people around the globe who seem to exact power anywhere in this world that they want, because of the people with less, meaning economically, have no means of being able to stand up. And that's what they believe, to stand up against this form of terror, and that they expect no resistance. But that's not the case. And many of the nations who are responsible for this crap and responsible for a lot of the ills across the globe are starting to wake up from this. A lot of the conflicts, a lot of the problems in the world are a result of their actions. And especially this one here, when the world is sitting silently watching the Israeli government go about doing what were claimed to have been done in Germany by Hitler and his regime. And now we have a new fashioning of Hitler, who claims to be of Jewish practice and whatnot. Like I say, I don't know what these people are. And as much as people claim to be of belief in God, I question about who is this God that they have fashioned up? Who is this God that they create and that they push off the people? Who is that God that they claim gives them rights to things, and everything in which they claim about having rights leads to fucking violence, leads to the extermination of people? Like, get out of here, man. All this stuff is wicked. It's cynical, it's satanic, it's demonic. But like I said, the only place in that region that should be recognized is Palestine and not Israel. Israel is a place of refuge for people escaping persecution over in Europe. And as simple as that. It ain't even that hard of an argument. It ain't even that much to where people try to, you're being that's anti-Semitism is a European thing. You keep it where it belongs, you keep it where it existed, and you keep it where these people were harmed at. It ain't an American thing, and it sure ain't no black American thing. It ain't an African thing, it ain't a Arab thing, it ain't a Middle Eastern thing. It is solely a European thing. Europeans hate Jews. They even have ill shit to say about them here in America, and that's usually white folks. Some ignorant black people buy into it because they don't know any better. It's just the ignorance because of the lack of education with a lot of people here. And that's a failure upon the wicked people that exist here in America, who have the responsibility of educating the people here. You can't even get a good education. You can't get an education that just keeps things honest and reveals some of the darkest secrets. But like I say, man, I've always stood firm about what I believe in this situation, and what most people, hey, and what most people know about this situation, and the fact that Israel should not exist, and it should have been in a temporary thing, and it should never be even a temporary thing. It should never be even a thing that was thought of. The thing that should have been put in place following the coward Hitler taking his own life and the rest of his leaders going off into hiding while leading their retarded citizens into doing their dirty work, only for them to ruin that whole nation, and a nation that could have been so great and so advanced. But here you have a bunch of drug addict, wicked fools who control the minds of people through garbage rhetoric. And it ultimately led to the retraction of that goddamn system. It led for them to even go backwards. But what should have happened was the protections should have been afforded to the Jewish citizens in that nation that they had existed in for so many centuries and had prospered over there, and they should have been protected over there, not to bring them to other people's land who have nothing to do with what they suffered, and then you armed them over there. But America has this wicked history, France, Britain, all of them, regardless of what they try to present as these old age people who they present as if they're just such kind and people who wouldn't harm a damn fly. And these are some of the most wicked and twisted people you've ever seen in life. But that's all I got. Peace. And free Palestine.